It took you months to get into that sleep schedule?
It did. I have I have trouble sleeping.
You know what? So, don't blame me. A lot of us. Kevin, would it be too much trouble to ask that you like switched like a membrane keyboard temporarily?
That's the only problem. I don't have another keyboard.
Lily, what was that?
Huh? Oh, I'm eating pumpkin seeds.
Oh, okay.
That's what that sound was?
I know it sounded like thunder coming down from the heavens.
I thought it was like boxes of pumpkin seeds falling or something.
You did not get that from whatever that was. So we begun the very, or I begun because I'm the one doing it, the very slow process of backing or restoring all of the old games that were lost on the website. And
Nice.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I think I haven't started again yet, but I think I put the game that I stopped at in the officers channel. Yeah, Sokri.exe. Okay, wait, hold on. Alani was asking if we need plates. No, we have tons. Correct. Lol.
What?
She was
Plates?
asking. Yeah, she was asking if we needed plates and cups for the gallery. No.
Is it like half of our locker just filled
Yes.
with like plates?
So we do not
Cups.
need that.
Like coffee filters,
A coffee maker.
Halloween decorations.
Yep.
At least you took the cheese out.
That was cheese. Oh yeah yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
they're like
The
little cheese packets.
Yeah, okay. No, for a sec I thought you meant like a wheel. I'm like, what? Hold on. Hold up.
Probably lasts longer, honestly. I don't know.
No, isn't the like the shredded parmesan processed or more processed,
I guess probably
longer shelf life?
might be. Probably, yeah.
Okay. Yep, just still stalling till Andrew gets here. I mean,
Did you message Andrew?
uh, maybe we should
I
tag him in the
texted him.
Discord like once.
I mean, you can just tell, yeah. Oh, I guess Lily did. Oh
No,
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 Lily's
that
like
was.
Matt. Never mind.
Oh, I misspelled Kudo. Oh no.
Which of the 4 letters do you misspell?
I swapped D and U. Could you?
So you're gonna say
Duo.
you swapped an O in here. It wasn't Kodu.
Code.
Kodu,
Kodu. Code.
the ancient art of Kodowa.
Kodowa.
Amiibo.
So how's school going, guys?
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
it's school.
School like? That's cool. That's cool.
Das kudos.
Das cool.
How's being an adult like?
Uh,
Yeah, because we have no idea.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
it's not that exciting. You should relish school while you're there.
That's not reassuring.
I mean, it's amazing, dude. Once you graduate, your world is open to options and yeah.
I love the options in yeah.
Options and yeah.
Those
what
are
more do
my
you need?
two favorite things.
Kevin, are you a senior?
No, I'm a junior.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say sophomore, and I was like, wait a second, I'm not a sophomore.
I'm not a sophomore.
Yes, I still got another year.
Gotcha.
Should we start?
Sure.
Call?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
What's on the docket today?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Development Club at San Jose State's podcast, episode number 13. We will be going over, as soon as I pull up the notepad, we will be going over the recent Nintendo Direct and all of the game announcements that came along with it. Our take on Battle Royales, because that's a hot topic now with the recent release of Apex Legends and what exactly constitutes a battle royale. And excuse me, typing during the intro. Hello.
Sorry.
And we will be going over our time at Spaces. Probably not in that exact order. To start off with, let's go with the Nintendo Direct because Andrew has to say stuff or wants to say stuff about the other two, so we can stall even more for his time. So, Nintendo Direct. Let's start with the first one that came off the top, Super Mario Maker 2.
I actually saw. I didn't see it, but I saw memes being handed around about it, and it was just like the same like super like the Mario Maker like 2 poster, but instead of the original tagline, they erased it and put in "You fucking make it then if you're so smart."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never played a Mario Maker, but I didn't realize they didn't have slopes at all.
they never did. It
Seems
was
like a
actually, it was actually a
kind of
meme
like a
within the
basic
Mario
thing.
making community that they wouldn't add slopes, and there was like a debate whether or not they should. So when they opened the trailer by showing off, oh god, what the heck is that? So when they
What?
opened the trailer by showing off slopes, I flipped out. Like no, for me, Mario Maker is like emotional. Like I actually found I spent like a good 3 years using like a flash game that lets you make a Mario levels. So seeing Mario Maker again after like the Wii U one is super super cool to me. Cause Super Mario Maker is like one of those games that the Flash game is kind of what got me is part of what got me into game development, and Super Mario Maker 2 can kind of do that for people. It makes like it skips the quote unquote boring parts of game development, like the tedious parts where you're like either you're programming or you have to make the art, and just says, look, just forget all that, just make the level and mess
It's
around with
just the
it.
design.
It's just the design part,
It's
and
the
for
design part
and
of
for
the.
most people, that's the fun part, because like especially when you can just jump right into the level and see it play, see all the parts move.
Yeah,
Matt, do you like Mario?
I do like Mario, but I've never heard of Mario Maker, so
Mario Maker is essentially a Mario game where you can build the level.
okay. Is there any
Alright.
story to it, or is it just
Nope.
straight up level building?
That's all.
Less
That's all it
story.
is. Yeah.
there's
There's a
less story
story?
than your usual Mario game.
Okay.
Is a story really?
I'm saying that Mario games don't really have much story to begin with, so
Oh.
That's
Okay.
fair.
yeah.
Yeah, I missed that joke. Anyway, next announcement. Box Boy and Box Girl. I don't know if anyone particularly has, you know, a deep love for these games. Did anyone play the original Box Boy?
Played the demo.
All right. Well, it's a puzzle game. Look forward to that.
Yep.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It's getting DLC. Boring. What else is high profile here? I mean, there's a new Fire Emblem game. I don't think any of you are going to be talking about it though, so I don't want to ramble about that. Uh, Deltarune is on the Switch.
Chapter
Interesting.
1 for free.
Yep, it's going to be free, just like the PC release.
Yeah.
What?
The entire game is free? On the
No.
Switch?
Deltarune? Yeah.
No.
I mean, like the demo chapter 1 is free.
Yes, just Chapter 1.
What they
I
have,
see.
what he has out now. The whole game, when it's fully released, will not be free.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
He made that very clear in the text.
Yeah.
Uh,
I did enjoy
Assassins.
that trailer though.
It was a very good trailer. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered coming out.
Ooh. Okay, that game needs a remaster.
Yeah, I loved Assassin's Creed 3. What
Wait, which one
happened?
is 3?
It's the one in America,
Uh,
Revolutionary War. I remember I actually bought it on the Wii U, and I don't remember that really slow intro that everyone hated that lasted 8 hours. Actually, wait.
The one where you had to play Haytham's father.
I
That was the
no, I,
tutorial.
I know. Okay, I know what it was, but I don't remember not liking it. The only thing
Oh
I didn't like about it was that like it kind of glued me to like a specific area, and I'm like, well, this is dumb. Like,
well.
it kept you on the story mission for way too long. Like it didn't let you branch out soon enough. I think that was my only issue. But then after it let me do that, I'm like, all right, well, see ya. I'm going this way.
Yeah.
I'm hunting. I'm just gonna be hunting animals now, saving caravans. See ya. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is coming in fall 2019. I believe that is a cross-platform release, so I'm actually really looking forward to that one. It's like the Castlevania-like. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is also getting a remaster. Which
I love the Link's Awakening
what
DX.
what did you love about it, William?
I don't know. I think I just like 2D Zelda games. Um, like
Was it? Sorry, go on, Will.
I thought the gameplay was pretty solid. Let's see.
What about the gameplay?
I don't know what it was exactly, but like using the sword was pretty good. Felt pretty responsive, and like you swung the sword a bit too. So so you had like a bit of an arc that you could use. And you could like hold the sword out to do a spin attack or like poke enemies with it too. Um, yeah, I just like that game. I finished it a couple times.
All right.
Was it Link's Awakening or was it A Link to the
Hmm?
Past? Because A Link to the Past was getting a
A Link to the
remaster or
Past
something.
already got a remaster. That was
Oh,
A Link Between Worlds.
well, no,
I
because
wouldn't
that
call
Well,
was
that
a
that a
wasn't.
separate
No,
game.
yeah,
that's
no,
a
you're right. That
separate
wasn't
game.
a remaster. That was like a reimagining.
But didn't they just
Well,
release like I thought they just started either they just started development or they just released something on the Switch for like Link to the Past. But maybe I'm just confusing that with Link's Awakening.
They
not that I
re-released
know of.
Zelda 2 on their Virtual Console.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of that. But
Um,
yeah, Link's Awakening, man, I'd love to get back to that one because I had like the original.
yeah.
I had a remake, I think, for Game Boy Color, and
Oh yeah, DX, I think.
yeah, that's it, Link's Awakening DX.
Because the original one was for the original Game Boy in black and white.
Right, and yeah, that one.
Yeah, I only played DX.
Okay, yeah, that like all the sword mechanics are saying like that's for sure that's true because I think they used like the similar, if not the same, sword mechanics for Seasons and Ages, and yeah, you've got that
Just
tiny
looking
little
at
arc.
those games, they look kind of this. Just looking at those games, they kind of look like they're the same engine or something.
Yeah, and if not, at least the same graphics.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game was solid because I think that's the one Legend of Zelda game where the developers were like, "Yeah, screw it, let's put Mario in here too," and like so you have like chain chomps
Yeah.
and all this
I
other
know.
stuff. Yeah.
There's a Kirby enemy, and there's even Goombas in the trailer.
Oh
Remember?
yeah. Wait, so is that remasters on the Switch then, or
Yes,
Uh,
it's a
it
Switch
will be.
title.
okay? Then okay. So now I have 4 games to for a reason to get the Switch.
Nice.
What are the four? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Let's see, Breath of the Wild,
Nice.
Super Mario Galaxy. Wait, no, Super
What?
Mario, whatever the
Odyssey.
Odyssey,
Odyssey. Yeah.
and then this
Galaxy
one.
3.
I think there was another game
Yeah,
for Switch.
perhaps you're thinking of Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
That's it. Thank you.
a little indie title called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I knew there was another one.
Just a little project someone made out their garage.
I mean,
Yeah.
actually, that's like not entirely wrong. Do you guys know the story of how like the Smash Brothers thing got started? Sakurai was
Was
like
it?
Sakurai
No.
went to Iwata and was like, "Hey, I have an idea for a fighting game, but I have no idea what characters I'm going to use for it." And Iwata's like, "Yo, I got you." So he and him made a demo in like I think a week. It was either 1 week or 2 weeks, and Iwata was just like, "You know what? We're just going to use Nintendo characters. We're not going to get permission. We're going to use the characters first, then get permission." And they made the demo and it got greenlit.
Oh wow, nice.
So it basically kind of happened out of a garage. It was just two guys making the demo. I mean, two very,
Wait, did they
very
work for
important people.
Nintendo at the
Yes,
time?
yes.
Okay.
Iwata, I think, was either the president or operating manager,
Okay.
and then Sakurai was just a programmer.
Gotcha.
And he'd already made Kirby by that time, right?
Yes, he had already
Okay.
made Kirby.
The little pink bastard.
Mhm.
I remember that's what he called it.
Oh really?
Yeah, he called Kirby like a little pink bastard or something like that. Some hilarious name.
That's great.
I remember them saying that his character design was like a placeholder at first, but then they just liked it, so they
Hmm
left it.
Wow, that makes so much sense now.
That's really funny.
Oh yeah, Kirby is on the Nintendo online thing.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, the
Kirby
first Kirby
Simulator.
game.
Oh, not the first Kirby game. The first one with abilities.
Wait, what was the first
That
Kirby
was.
game?
That was a Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy.
Oh.
Okay.
Never mind. Oh, so it's the NES Kirby, or the SNES
yeah.
Kirby?
I think. Yeah, it's for the NES.
Oh, okay.
My favorite Kirby game was Squeak Squad for the DS.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. My favorite was Crystal Shards or whatever the hell it was called for.
Never played that one yet.
Never played that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That one was so amazing.
Wait, oh, so it was a 3D Kirby game.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
One of those.
One of those.
One of those. I think mine's probably Kirby Superstar Ultra.
That's definitely a good one. Yeah.
That one's just really fun. I think that might have been the first Kirby game I ever played. I remember when I was in elementary school when it came out, they passed out bookmarks that had Kirby on them, and I'm like, yo, this is cute. I don't know what the heck this thing is, but I'm gonna play its game, I guess.
Yeah.
And in the direct, so this is gonna be our transition right here. We have Tetris 99, the
Yeah, we're just gonna
all-new
transition back
free-to-play
into the topic.
Tetris twist on the Tetris Classic that pits you against, you guessed it, 99 players against one another. Nintendo Switch gets a new Battle Royale today, and it's Tetris.
That sounds pretty interesting.
So, okay, so I gave William like the play-by-play of Tetris 99 because I'm basically a god. No, I'm kidding. One of my friends already has 14 victory royales, and I'm like, how the heck are you that good? So Tetris 99, for the most part, the gameplay is Tetris. All you like, if you don't care about the battle royale mechanic, you can just play Tetris and survive as long as you can. The battle royale mechanic is similar to that of Tetris Attack and Tetris Online, where if you clear more than one line at once, the extra lines, or actually all of the lines that you've cleared, go to an opponent, and you can choose which opponent you're targeting. If you clear multiple lines in quick succession, then you can get, you will also send lines that way. And the way that you target opponents is either one of 4 predetermined targeting parameters, which is either attackers, as in you will send the lines to anyone attacking you. KOs, you will attack the person who has the most knockouts. Badges, you'll attack the person that has the most badges. I'll get to badges in a second. Or you will target someone randomly. So the way that badges work is whenever someone KOs another player, like they lose the game, then they obtain a badge. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have it doesn't necessarily mean that they've earned the KO, because what happens is when you KO someone that has badges, you take their badges.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how the badge targeting works. Um, but what's interesting is you can also manually target people, and part of the way that you're actually going to be winning the game consistently, from my friends and kind of from me from like placing pretty well, is you want to be managing who you're targeting and make sure you are also not making yourself too much of a target, because if you make yourself an obvious target for like badges or KO where people can just like quick flick the stick and just target you instantly, you're in a bad spot. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you want to be like killing off the competition that you realize this is doing really well.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. That's really interesting.
It's a lot of fun for people that like Tetris and are relatively good at it. If you're bad at Tetris, you'll realize you're bad very quickly.
I bet. So when you're playing, do you find yourself switching targets a
Yes,
lot? Like,
yes.
oh, okay.
Almost like sometimes it can be to a fault because like within the first 50, you're pretty safe to just like kind of manually target people. But past that, the blocks move so quickly that like you won't have too much time to switch over to someone because you have to use like the analog stick to like move your target over to them.
Okay. So I was curious if like if you target and then you just keep going till they die and then you change, or if
Uh,
you're just keep
when they
flicking.
die, you can automatically change. You'll automatically snap to the next person in the list of 99,
Oh, okay.
and then you can move it on your own. Like it's pretty funny. One of my friends who's like super good, who had the 14 wins, was like, yeah, like the most people I've had target me at once was 35.
Jeez.
And like, because she was like clearly a threat, because I think she was like a high level or whatever. And what happened was, when you switch to attackers, she gets to attack all 35 of them at once.
Oh.
It's really funny how that works out.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Targeting attackers is the only way to hit multiple people, and it's really effective. It's also really fun. They got the crunch factor of the UI down.
Lots of particles.
Lots of particles. They also took advantage of HD Rumble, for what that's worth.
That sounds like one of the game jams or whatever that we did, where
You
it's
did.
like you have to
There
blend
was.
two
I remember
genres.
there was a crunchy. Oh, there was a crunchy game
But
jam for sure.
okay.
Yeah, I think it was the last Ludum Dare.
Yes, that Ludum Dare
Yeah.
was. Well, the one that we did was blend two genres.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have been more since.
All right.
Did you guys do? This might be off topic. Did you guys do Global Game Jam or Let 'Em Dare?
We
this year?
haven't done any of it because Kevin has not asked us to.
Oh man. Oh man.
Just,
Well,
just throwing that on Kevin.
Wait, is Kevin still in this call? Hello?
I don't even know.
Oh, sorry, I was installing some stuff.
Oh, well, okay then.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So now that we're on the topic of battle royales, let's try and contact Kudo again.
Kudo.
Kudo. Text him. Actually, Matt, call him.
Yeah, I'll call him.
That way his phone rings.
Hold on.
Calls and picks up. Where you at, bro?
Where we drop in the
Oh,
fam-
it
Oh,
says-
dude, there's a new meme for Tetris 99. Where we fast dropping, bro? Okay, anyway, Matt, continue.
Oh, one thing I didn't realize is that you can drop shot in Apex. So I'm like, I need to start abusing that.
Your voice is echoing for some reason.
I don't know.
It's because you're the president.
Yeah, I have just such a
Your words carry
powerful
more
voice.
weight.
We've done a few of the sections, but we haven't. We're still at the. We're just getting the battle royale. So.
Where the heck frick is this guy?
It sounds like he picked up though, because Matt was talking about what we were doing, so it looks like he's catching
He's
him
just
up.
leaving a message for him.
Oh my god, I got
That'll
baited.
be so funny.
I
Just
got
leave a
baited.
message.
Okay. The Kudo has been awakened.
Oh, okay,
Very
dude.
nice,
I
very
thought,
nice.
dude, Kevin was like, dude, what if he's just leaving a message? And I'd be like, oh, dude, I got fucking baited. I got baited.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. There's also a new Dragon Quest game. Like I did try to kind of avoid stuff just in case some people weren't super interested in it.
Yeah.
It didn't
Last
spur
Dragon
conversation.
Quest?
Yo,
Last
hold up, we have
Quest
Dragon
I
Quest
played-
fans here. Hold up. Okay, I'll talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, the last Dragon Quest I played was Dragon Quest Monsters or DQM.
Mhm.
Dude, I think that was for DS. Dude, that was amazing.
I played the last one I played was 9.
Oh dang, yeah. The main series, I know a little bit about the main series, but not much.
I think Dragon Quest Builders though might like bring me back in the series because it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I actually like my roommate is actually more into Dragon Quest, and so we got Builders when it came out, and I've actually played it more than he has.
Oh nice.
He hasn't finished it yet, but I already did.
Damn.
it-
But
So how does Builders play? Because it doesn't sound like it would be standard.
no,
Okay.
definitely not. No.
Okay.
It's pretty
Um,
weird. Well, I mean, not weird in
like
the
a bit of
sense. It's
a-
weird for the series.
It's a bit of like a action RPG, but you can also like it's also kind of like voxel-based building,
Okay.
like build and destroy blocks.
Gotcha.
Yo, QQ, what is voxel? What is voxel an abbreviation of?
Volumetric pixels?
Oh, really? Oh, that makes
Seems
a lot of
legit.
sense.
It's something like that. Because they're like pixels, but they have volume.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's something like that. I think.
That makes sense
That's
to me.
correct. That is correct.
Thank you.
Hey, hi Kudo.
Hey,
It's.
how's it
I
going?
mean, it's Andrew. We can just call him Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew.
And on the
Yeah.
topic of Tetris 99, Battle Royales. The recent release of Apex Legends happened. Discuss Battle Royales. I don't know. The only one I talk about is Tetris 99.
Wait,
What,
Tetris
what a
99 is a
segue.
battle royale?
I mean, effectively it is.
Kind of sounds like it.
Do I have to? Okay, Andrew. I'm not gonna re-explain Tetris 99 on the podcast. I'll explain to you later.
No, I gotcha. It's okay.
So Apex Legends, go.
It's an
Okay.
interesting game. Netcode's really bad though.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. I feel like, having played it on release and played it a week later, I feel like their netcode. I feel like they might have pulled a similar move to what Call of Duty did, where they might have scaled back their like what their servers offer over time, because or maybe they don't have or their servers are not as scalable or something, because when I first the first day I played, I felt like it was a little more consistent.
I mean, that's probably also because I had lower player counts.
Right. So it's not scaling as well. That's
Probably.
yeah, that's very possible.
No, so I watched a video and then I did some research on it. Apparently, Apex Legends has some of the highest delay. Like, even if you're like 24 millisecond ping to the actual server, it has some of the highest delay for like taking damage and like hearing shots and stuff, like compared to any other battle royale. And then I was looking at the numbers. It's more than double like every other battle royale.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Like, I think there's like almost like a fifth of a second delay between when the person shooting sees you take damage and when you see you take damage.
Yeah, that is actually noticeable. I
Yeah.
have noticed there's a little bit of that when I played.
And then getting shot around corners is also a huge pain.
Oh yeah. I bet.
Then,
So, oh, sorry.
but yeah, that's just netcode. I'm sure that'll get fixed over time. It is funded by EA, so they have money for that.
So, for those of you listening who don't know what Apex Legends is, um, Apex Legends is a battle royale made by the creators of Titanfall, Respawn Entertainment. A lot of them are ex Call of Duty developers.
They made
Uh,
Modern Warfare.
A lot of them are from. Oh, were they from Infinity Ward? I thought they were from.
They were from
Treyarch.
Infinity Ward. They were from
They
their
were Infinity
first. They made
Ward,
their
yes.
the first good Call of Duty.
Wait, Infinity War?
Infinity Ward.
Yeah, they made Infinity Ward.
Oh yeah, you're right. They made Infinity War.
Oh, now I everything makes more sense.
Yeah, that's why the company split in two.
See, that just changes everything for me.
Why?
No, it really doesn't.
Wait,
Um,
wait. The Call of Duty part or the Infinity War part? Because the Infinity War part we made up.
Oh.
What?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So,
What?
that dropped.
What?
The game dropped. Moreover, it specifically it dropped into the battle royale scene. Hey guys, could we make and everyone, could we make like a could we make a battle royale where we just simply everyone has to play as a battle royale in 100 battle royale.
Actually, wait. That'd be pretty cool.
You
Like,
you
no,
have
no,
to
no, no.
Take the shooting mechanics.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just-
exactly. You have to take the shooting mechanics, the dropping in mechanics of all of the games, and play as them in one environment.
That's not fair.
Including
Apex just
Tetris
has
99.
such a huge advantage then because it has like way like more mobility.
Well,
and
that's
way
just.
easier gun control.
Well, then that's just.
Because like
PUBG's fault.
Fortnite doesn't have ADS.
That's
PUBG the recoil is really high and there's not much mobility.
that's their fault, honestly, for just having a bad game.
Oh dang.
What's up, guys? Yeah. So,
What's
What is this?
this is like the project I've been messing around with for a couple days over the last week.
You're making
This-
you're making a kawaii version of FaceRig?
No, there already is a project for that. It's more of a pipeline to get a model to be able basically it's just Matt and I have actually worked on something kind of like this,
Is
just
this-
not synced to an avatar.
Is this
It's
Doom
not.
giant underneath the suit?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, sorry, I'm not trying to be distracting. The idea here being like, if you think about it, that like battle royales, there are so many of them now. We're almost getting to the point where we could have a battle royale of battle royale games, because there are I cannot name that many. I know that, but I know that there are a lot.
I mean,
Probably
to be honest,
out
if you
there.
think of the ones that are popular, you have, or even like remotely popular, you have PUBG, Ring of Elysium, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Call of Duty,
Call of Duty's a battle royale.
Black Ops 4
It ha-
has a
yeah.
battle royale.
Oh, okay.
Battlefield 5's coming out with one next month.
What about DayZ?
Is
I
DayZ
think
still
that's
alive?
dead.
I don't even know.
I mean, I don't want to say dead. I think there's still people on it, but
Here we go, everyone.
Dude, Ring of Elysium's dead. I'm so sad about that.
So, can everyone see this? Yeah, here's a list of battle royale games on Wikipedia. I know people cannot on the stream, but I'll kind of hit a couple of the ones that you said and maybe a couple other ones.
Oh, really?
Agar.io is considered a battle royale.
oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Apex
Oh, yeah.
Legends is a battle royale.
Isn't there like
Did Battlefield 5's battle royale drop?
no, not
Drops
yet.
in March.
Isn't there like
Oh.
Battle Royale IO or something like that?
Total-
Survive
totally
IO.
Oh wait, yeah, the one that's like 2D, right?
Yeah.
Survive.
The top-
Survive IO. It's Survive
Survive
IO.
IO.
Oh yeah, it's on the list.
Survivio. Yeah.
I like the last one.
Totally accurate battle guns. I wish I had.
Oh,
I forgot
I
about
wish I
that
had
one.
Downloaded that when that dropped, because that was the one that I was really like of all the battle royales aside from.
Wait,
Apex,
hold
this
hold
one
on,
have-
hold
I
on,
still have
hold
it.
on, hold on. Where's Tetris 99?
I mean, I'm
Carlo,
pretty sure.
Carlo, you should edit the page right now.
You should. You should.
Let's see.
Or actually, you should edit Tetris 99's page.
Okay,
and
no,
then
it doesn't fit the Wikipedia definition. That's why.
What is the Wikipedia definition?
This
It
actually
blends
Does it have to be
survival,
a shooter?
exploration, and scavenging
What the
elements.
heck?
I
That
don't
is
know.
not.
No. Okay, to be
I mean,
fair,
to be fair.
No, to be
Incorporating
fair, like, let's look. I have this up on my screen, guys.
Yeah.
Take a look. We've got
I can
Tetris
not read
99,
that.
also known as colloquially as Tetris Battle Royale. I mean,
It says incorporating elements of the battle royale.
Well, I mean,
I'd give this being a battle royale, and now I feel like we need to play this. This sounds great.
To be honest,
Tetris 99 is incredible. I love it. And okay, I'm gonna bring it up just a little bit, and just say and repeat what I said before. Where if you're good at Tetris, you will love this game. If you're bad at Tetris, you will realize it very quickly.
So here's my question: do you think that if we made that battle royale, that you would be?
Yeah, wait, how the fuck does Tetris come
The
to
airship would fly over. The airship would fly over, and a tetramino would fall out, and it would have to land on someone, and that's your whole game as the tetramino.
Wait, but not all. Oh, okay. So you mean specifically for the Tetris one?
No,
I was
see,
gonna
okay,
say
wait.
all
What I was thinking was maybe it's like Tetris 3D, where if you complete like or if you like complete a line in a certain direction, you unleash like a wave of bullets in that direction.
You just keep dropping like that. It's just you dropping over and over again.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. That's great. How does someone kill you though?
You have to
Do
kill
they
the
shoot you out
ship.
of the air?
You have to kill the ship that you're dropping out of. Because actually,
Oh
no,
my
that
God.
totally
But after
that
everyone
totally
drops out, they have to shoot the dropship down. That's amazing.
that totally works because that's kind of how Tetris 99 works. We have to target people. You have to like so instead of managing and targeting people and playing Tetris, you have to manage your airship not getting shot down and playing Tetris. There you go.
That sounds amazing. So I feel like we kind of tangented really fast because right at the beginning.
Okay, so Apex
Right at
Legends.
the beginning, Kevin was very like he's like net code, but we didn't really discuss the whole battle royale thing. I don't think for our listeners. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
the idea of battle royale is that you have n users where n is I would say a number greater than
It's
20.
a lot.
Yeah. Well,
Honestly, if it's anything below 40, it's just a free for all. It's not really a battle royale at that point.
yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say like it has to have a minimum of like maybe 4 or 5 squads.
I mean, it doesn't have to be squads. It can be solos too.
That's true. You could do solos. I feel like if you were to do 20 and you had squads, you could actually pull it off. It could still be battle royale, just on a very small scale. But I don't know that just 20 players would. Well, depending on the mechanics, a 20 could actually still be battle royale. If the map facilitated people not reaching each other immediately, like every time. If that were the case, or the way that you spawn in would facilitate that, I think that you could have a 20-person battle royale where people have to build up a little bit and then find each other and then kill each other. But the idea is to be the last person standing in battle royale.
Well, no, not all of them. There's different win conditions.
Could you name some of the win conditions? I've never seen any other than
Ring
that.
of Elysium, you just have to get on the escape.
Okay,
helicopter.
name another one besides Ring of
Okay.
Elysium.
Hold on one sec.
That one has the coolest name.
I mean, it does, but like it's also the
Pretty
one
good,
he
yeah.
always brings up.
But are you trying to tell me, Matt, that you don't want to be an Apex legend?
Oh man,
You could be an Apex
Legend.
hunter or Apex.
that's
predator.
like better
That's
than
like-
a Vertice or a Vertex legend.
Okay,
Voxel
wait,
legend.
Where did I leave off?
You're trying to come up with another battle royale with mechanic other than Ring of Elysium.
I don't think there is one, but that's why I love Ring of Elysium. I'm just saying there can be. That's what I meant. That's what I should have said.
Okay, so I think that up until Ring of Elysium, you would have to argue that almost couldn't be a feature of a battle royale.
Well, actually, wait a minute. I
But-
guess
but that's
Tetris
like-
99 technically has a different win condition. No. Actually, no, it doesn't. It is still be the last one standing.
Pretty
I
much.
think that
It's
one of
just
the more
like
interesting
Tetris.
things that we've kind of had discussion about on the Discord was what really defines battle royale game. Like, does it have to have a certain number of players? Like, we can agree on what the core concept of battle royale is, but when does it stop being a battle royale game? Because initially we were discussing that with regards to Apex, where you were saying that it was not really battle royale.
No, no, no.
I know that you don't.
I don't.
I know you don't feel that way anymore.
No, no, no.
But,
I think
like,
even initially that wasn't the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make is that the entire genre was shifting away from like a tactical shooter to more an arcadey style, which like I didn't like.
okay, fair enough. And I actually agree with you that there definitely is that shift that is taking place. I think I don't know if it's entirely a shift away. I would make a.
Well, at least with Apex, it's a huge shift away.
Oh no, that's fair. I mean, more so in general. I don't know that that's the only, like, I don't know if I'd say that the whole industry is making that shift away. I just feel like we're starting to see battle royale mechanics in a lot of different places. So in an arcade shooter, in
Well, I mean,
Tetris.
I think all the ones that have come out recently, like Fortnite, or relative, or since PUBG, I'll say. So Fortnite, Apex, the Call of Duty one, all of them like throw away a lot of the tactical elements for more just gunplay or just like constant fighting. So, which is what I'm saying is they throw away a lot of the tactical shooter elements in more favor of more arcadey style of shooter.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think that that's also. I mean, to be honest, that's probably a lot of why those games have seen maybe a little bit more success. Aside from, I mean, like the tactical shooter is notoriously inaccessible. I would say, like, not to say it's bad, but it's not the easiest for people to get into, and a lot of people do not enjoy that.
I'd say it's like middle ground in terms of game genres that are hard to get into because MOBA. I don't want to say MOBAs are hard to get. MOBAs competitively are hard to get into.
You see, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing, though, right? Is like MOBAs totally do that, and yet, or totally are that, and yet they still manage to attract a large audience. I wonder if that might have to do with the fact that,
That's mostly esports, I'm pretty sure.
but then there's a lot of precision, I guess. Like I was gonna say, like, maybe the precision of tactical shooters, because tactical shooters often lay heavily into like,
Tactical shooters have a lot of underlying things that aren't like you can't really visually see, so it's hard to like tell. Like a lot of tactical shooters is about positioning and angles, which is
Yeah.
not something you can like visually see or easily, especially the spectator.
unless you're a shooter player.
Yeah, unless you're a shooter player. And then
Yeah.
specifically with PUBG, a lot of it is literally just listening for sounds and like looking for environmental cues as to where people are, where they might be.
Out of curiosity, the communities in games like PUBG, are they more like? Would you say more like the communities in something like I don't know. Excuse me. League of Legends or Dota, or would you say that they're more like?
Okay,
or-
so based on the games I play, I'd say that Battlefield 5, PUBG, League of Legends, and Hearthstone all have a very interesting sentiment where everyone just seems to hate the game, but they keep playing it.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
I'd Counter-Strike to that
Counter-Strike.
list.
PUBG is definitely the game that people complain a lot about the netcode on. Of any game I've ever heard of or seen.
PUBG, the thing is, I feel like the people who complain about the netcode haven't played it recently, because it got so much better. It's actually like really good really decent netcode now.
I mean,
Like
To be
I saw
fair,
people complain about rubber banding recently, and I'm like, I haven't rubber banded in like months.
yeah, I've just from my friends who play, I've heard that they still have problems, but like,
Oh wait,
I don't
no,
know
are
how
they
much
playing
of
on
that.
console?
No, I doubt it. I doubt they're playing.
I
on
heard
console.
console is pretty bad, but PC's gotten a lot better. It's not great, but it's gotten a lot better. I'll say that much.
So would you all say that? Would you think that just does PUBG strike you as a matured battle royale, so to speak? Not mature in the sense of like target audience, but matured in the sense of like it's kind of reached its I guess it's not quite critical
Middle
mass
age.
of players, but is it on decline, do you feel like?
It's
Yes.
stagnant. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's on decline. Let me pull up Steam charts actually.
What do you
I
say,
mean,
Frosty?
rarely
Apex
do
and
games
popularity?
stay actually stagnant. Usually they start exhibiting some trend. In a
I feel like
specific
it
direction.
might be toward its latter years.
It's roughly okay. So if you go all time, it peaked like late 2017 around like 3 million. It's been going down, and then since like June, it's been around. It's hovering like around 1 million.
So here's my question: how much of that is players getting bored, moving on to the next game, the next thing? How much do you think is normal churn? How much do you think is problems with the game that drove people away? Do you think that, and how much is it just normal? Yeah, like just normal churn. How much do you think of that is the case, or is it just that there are better competitors in it to the people playing that game? Do you think that people were looking for a different experience and really found that in other battle royales?
25,
Like,
60, 15.
Well,
Done.
what?
Percent.
Nice. Nice.
25, 60, 15%.
Oh wait, I can't even see. I don't even remember what the order of the question was. So,
Well,
Fair enough.
like
Fair
Andrew
enough.
like reordered them, so I had to reorder my numbers. I'm like, what?
okay, let's
That's
see.
fair. Yeah, that was.
Let's see.
Okay, no, I
The
think-
middle
okay,
one,
something
the
about
middle one was
PUBG.
churn. The middle one was churn. The last
No,
one
I think-
was mechanics or like lag or something.
No,
and
it's
the
not.
first, I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty sure it's not churn because the people who stay in PUBG are the people who are really good at PUBG. Like,
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna drop it that easily. Like, it's one of those player bases that's very dedicated to the game. Then, what was the other one? Okay, a lot of it's probably competition because out of the battle royales, I think PUBG and Call of Duty are the only ones that are paid. The
Okay.
rest are like all free.
That's.
Then, like, not even discussing quality of games. That's just like going to be an instant barrier right there.
You're right. Yep, that's absolutely the case.
And then Call of Duty has another, like, Call of Duty the Battle Royale is not the only thing you get when you buy the game. So that's also there. What was the third one?
What was the third one? Don't worry about it.
Oh
think-
no, disdain for the game. He said.
Yeah.
That kind of ties into the going to other games. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people when they played PUBG, it was because it was the only Battle Royale game and it was popular. And as soon as Fortnite came out, PUBG just kind of crashed. Surprisingly, when Apex came out, I don't think PUBG's player base has gone down that much.
I think that PUBG has sustained most of its long-term damage from competitors in the form of Fortnite. I feel like anyone who was playing PUBG who wasn't going to continue playing PUBG likely downloaded Fortnite before they downloaded Apex. Though the one thing that I think Apex offers that Fortnite does not is a first-person mode, rather than like. So now there you can pick up.
Well, it has
Apex
better
Legends and
movement
Fortnite.
mechanics too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But you could pick up Apex and Fortnite, and you get your first-person and third-person battle royales respectively, or you can pick up PUBG and get both.
I'm pretty okay. One thing is, I'm pretty sure that most of the people who play Apex would not want to go into a third-person mode. So it's not. I don't think those two have much overlap.
I
the
actually
people
totally
who-
agree with you.
The people who play Fortnite and didn't move to Apex, I don't think at any point they are going to actually move to Apex. And same
I
with the other way around.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I mean, unless they're the kind of person who didn't really like third person but preferred Fortnite's like actual like arcadey gameplay, and
But I
maybe
mean, Apex has similar gameplay to it. Like the only
right.
difference-
So what I'm saying is maybe some of those people left PUBG but are now leaving Fortnite for Apex.
Oh no, I'm just talking between Apex and Fortnite. I'm not even like PUBG is a completely different thing because I feel like the people who stay in PUBG are the ones who like play Arma and stuff.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that it definitely services a need that has existed for more tactical games. Like there aren't a lot of them, and I think that if there were, there wouldn't be anyone playing any of them because there would be so much like structuring of like just player bases that the likelihood that you would have enough people playing those games to actually make them worth making would be kind of nil. But on the other hand, like having a couple, maybe three really big tactical games at a given time seems to be somewhat sustainable. I know people play like Rainbow Six.
Oh yes. Well, yeah, but that's not a
CHS.
battle royale. That's like
No,
that's
tactical,
closer
tactical.
to like CS:GO.
I was talking more of a tactical game.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
I was talking specifically about battle royales.
Oh, I know. I was just saying that like not kind of on the tangent of battle royales with tactical elements. I was saying that like games with tactical elements feel like there can only be so many in the market because there is a very fixed size player. Like I mean, like with everything, there's
no,
a very
not only
fixed
that,
size
it requires time. Like
Right.
those are games that require your time. I think I've said something similar to Carl before. Like I'm not gonna get into CS:GO because I have to put so much time into League. Like I don't want to learn another competitive game.
That is totally fair. And to be honest, I don't I find that like shooters end up falling into one of the two categories, and I think that this is where like I mean there's of course some gray area in between, but they kind of tend to lean one or two ways on the spectrum, which is either movement oriented or like pure like aim oriented FPS. That doesn't
Wait,
mean you
when you
can't
say
have
movement, do you mean like in combat or do you mean like overall movement?
like moving your character movement, and that could be in combat or not. I would say that like if you
Because
look,
I
you're
was gonna
right
say
that some games don't. There are some games that kind of make you move a lot out of combat and then don't move a lot in.
no, I mean like,
combat.
are you talking about positioning or like actual like in combat like dodging around?
Okay,
Here, I'll
hold
give you
up.
two.
Kevin,
I'll
I
give you two
couldn't.
game example.
Kevin, I couldn't tell if that was your voice cracking or your mic cracking.
No, I think I just had something in my throat.
Okay, Andrew, continue.
Yeah, I guess the comparison being Counter Strike maybe, which it would be. I would say is not a movement FPS. If you've ever tried to move and shoot in that game, you know
Okay,
what's going
I see
on.
what you're saying.
And then Overwatch could be the perfect opposite example. You probably shouldn't be standing still in Overwatch to shoot unless you're Widowmaker, and you probably still shouldn't be standing still. You should probably be moving a little bit.
Really quickly, William.
Yeah.
Do you need to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, bye, William.
I will miss
care.
you.
I will.
I think I'll go in a little bit too.
Oh, all right. You have
Baroni.
yeah. Don't like three of you have class at like 2/work or something like that?
Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh no, William had work. What do you Lily? What do you have?
Oh, I have to go do something for class.
Oh, okay.
I see.
I mean, I'm not
Okay.
going to a class, but I have to go do something for class. So
Okay.
I'm gonna leave at 1:45.
Okay.
So, where were we?
Actually, wait.
So-
No. We're stopping that now.
No.
We're switching over to spaces really quickly. We should have done this when William was here.
Should have done that.
Oh yeah, true enough.
That's what I
Right.
forgot about. Anyway, Spaces was a VR quote attraction kind of a deal that they had at the Cinemark Theater in Oak Ridge Mall. Lily, what were your impressions
It
Of what?
is. It still exists.
of Spaces? Oh yeah, what are your
Oh,
impressions of Spaces?
It was actually really cool. I'm honored that we got the chance to go do it, and I think it's kind of really exciting because it's like a new development for like arcade gaming, but it's VR. You know?
Yeah,
Sounds really cool.
I can see that. I
It's
think
it's like more mainstream now.
no, I totally get that. I think part of my not gripe, but like not disinterest either, but it was just kind of like because I've worked
Satisfaction?
because I've worked with VR, and I think Andrew kind of expressed a similar sentiment. I was kind of like, that was okay. Like I wasn't blown away by it.
I'll tell you, I've done Disney's The Void, and that absolutely is the opposite experience. It feels like amusement park class VR. I mean, and it is, it is Disney, like a Disney thing. It I don't want to spoil it, but it is a Star Wars experience. At least one of the ones they have now. I think they have two now. Is one's a Wreck-It Ralph one. Like, I don't mean to detract from Spaces either, because actually what Spaces has is like, it seems like a more deployable setup, like more easily deployed. I think they can far more easily make a Spaces setup and deploy. I think my biggest disappointment with Spaces is like setup per se was in the experience. You spend way too much time doing the training. You get dropped into the actual experience part of the experience only after 7 minutes of actually like playing, and then that's like 5 minutes, and then you get dropped back out into training for 2 minutes, and then and then you're out of the experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it was it was kind of shallow. I mean, it was cool having like the gun and the recoil feeling. I mean, obviously Andrew's gun didn't work because I think they didn't charge it.
Oh,
And
my
like,
batteries, yeah.
and to be fair, we were playing before it was actually like quote unquote released, but like a lot of it was the same or very similar to the way it experienced in Irvine. So I'm not exactly sure how much they've changed, but for the most part, I'm just like even the changes they were talking about. Oh, we improved the models. Oh, we added new enemies, or we're going to add new enemies. I'm kind of like, it can't, like, we know the VR development cycle, and it's like it doesn't take 6 months to add that kind of stuff. Like what else is
Well, it
happening?
does
Like,
if you have
now I
a-
understand
if you have a small
I
team.
understand that the models is doing that. Like like modeling can take that long, and like you said, small team. But what are the programmers doing in that time? Are they not adding like new AI, new levels? Because they just kind of stood there. Like I kind of get it's tailored for like a general audience, but at the same time, like there wasn't a lot of substance, especially knowing that would you actually spend $20 on that? And
So
I guess for for the general audience that doesn't play VR, it can be a cool experience. Like how much was the Disney Void thing? Just you just go into the park and you can just walk in. There wasn't like an extra fee for that ride.
no, it's in downtown Disney. You can actually just go park in downtown Disney and go pay the $37 and play it, basically.
Like from what you're describing, it sounds. How long was the thing? Like I don't want to judge it just based on length, but it's a good gauge.
I want to say the Void's only about 15 minutes, probably.
Really?
Yeah, maybe 15 or 20 minutes total. Um, you probably spend more time waiting if you actually wait for a while than you would actually spend playing. But here's the thing. I think it's less about the total length. It's more about what you do in that time. And I don't think that Spaces, like, it, the goal with Spaces seemed to be to make an arcade experience. So I don't want to say it felt shallow in the sense that, like, oh, it's an arcade experience. It wasn't a movie. That if you want the movie-like experience, go do the Void. The Void is awesome. Like, this was distinctly not that, and I think that that's okay because that's not really even. I didn't even set my expectations to be that when I went in, but I think that a lot of time was wasted trying to get people acclimated in the experience. And when you're paying money for that, I don't want to pay for acclimation. I want to pay for the experience. So I don't want to spoil what the actual like setting for the experience is, but I want to go to a couple settings maybe during my
Hmm.
time in there, or maybe there's a different setting every time. Did you experience? Was there a different like? Were you on the same place? I don't want to say
Oh
what,
yes,
but
no.
were you in the
We
same
had
place?
we I
Like, did-
watched, like if you watch the video we posted, it's just you came there by the way, on YouTube. We both like the experience exactly the same. You go to the same area, you go through the same training space. Haha. Um,
See, and therein lies. I mean, it would be nice at least if you could skip the training space after having done it once. Because are you going to pay $20 to do that twice if you're going to have to do training twice?
Definitely. I don't. That's the other thing. I just don't know if there's any replayability, especially $20 a pop when you're trying to get a high score. Like that's steep.
Yeah, it's definitely taking VR arcade a little high for what it is. I'm not saying it's bad though. It is actually a really cool experience and it has a lot going for it. Um, they've got a pretty good setup with the Oculus, and I can't remember who makes those guns, but there's a company that makes these VR guns. Um, let's see. I actually I had actually figured out who makes these at one point, but I don't remember who it was. Um, but unfortunately, no one wants to let you see who the manufacturer of these things
Yeah,
is
because they want to keep
because
the illusion.
yeah, well, not only the illusion, but they don't Rapture. It's the Rapture gun. So yeah, the Rapture VR gun. This is it. It looks like this. I know the online viewers can't really see with their ears, but actually it does not look like that.
It doesn't. No, because you, Andrew, you
No.
and I have seen the gun they use, like
Yeah.
without the
No,
headset on.
it looks slightly different than this, but it is the same brand. It is made by this brand. Because I did inspect mine at the Void, and I'm not supposed to talk. Probably not supposed to talk about that. Whatever. I googled that for the record. I was just able to look up VR gun. I'm not disseminating any knowledge I'm not supposed to. Even if you claim I do, I literally googled it on stream, so someone could figure that out on their own. I'm not doing anything that
Okay,
someone
okay,
without
okay.
intent
And
can.
Andrew, the point.
Yeah, the point is that they have some good hardware. It's actually based on the Oculus as well. You can tell if you've ever used an Oculus. One of the things I noticed, having done the Void and this, is the Void. They have a Halo strap for the headset. So you basically put it on your head. I think it was like a Halo strap. You pull it down over your head, and for someone who wears glasses, that worked great. Uh, in spaces, I couldn't even fit it on my face. It did not fit around my glasses. It almost felt like the Rift was squished inward, and it might have been that they had the changeable face covers, and those were bigger than they're supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure, but I would be inclined to say that as a glasses wearer, especially if you have a big rim for your glasses, it may not be a good experience at all.
I
I
had
had to take my glasses off and was blind the whole time.
I had the exact same problem. I didn't have to take off my glasses because we managed to just like loosen it all the way until it fit me, but it was really uncomfortable. I don't I like you were saying. I don't know if that's just a problem with the Oculus, but I've had the Vive is fine. I can put the Vive on just fine. I've only used the Oculus maybe a handful of times, but that was like, especially with like the bulky backpack and stuff. It's like, yeah, that it's not going on my face.
So I have a fairly, I guess, a fairly big face, and like I have pretty big glasses,
Lily,
and they
actually, wait,
work.
Lily, did it work? How did it feel for you? Because you also have
Yeah.
glasses and have a similar head shape.
Oh no, it was definitely a better experience with the glasses inside the goggles. Um, because like the first time I used it, it was like I was like extremely nearsighted, like everything in the distance was super blurry. But I didn't do it the first time because my glasses like wouldn't like fit. Well, I mean, like I had to like really cram it into the goggles for me to even use it, and like when I put it on, it kind of squeezed my head because like the goggles weren't like. Yes, I have a big frame for goggles, glasses, and so it like squeezed around my head, but I was able to see, so I guess I was able to trade that.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, Andrew, to cut you off.
No, it's
Lily,
okay. I just want to just throw a thought here. Is that like I have an Oculus Go, and I've owned an Oculus, and I found that the Oculus was a little bit tighter than the Go, but I could still fit my glasses in the more recent Oculuses, like the Rifts. So something was weird with that setup for me.
I think it
Uh,
was just. I think honestly, it was just the goggle size.
yeah, I find it weird because it's like maybe they're using an older gen of the Oculus or something. Like but it didn't feel like an old gen Oculus. It just, I don't know. It just didn't fit my face like I remember the Oculus. Like the Oculus always had a tight fit, but this fit way tighter than I thought it would. Whereas like the Oculus Go is like wonderful. It's probably the most comfortable VR headset I've ever put on my face. So I don't know. Go is a different piece of hardware though.
So Lily, I guess as the least technically involved in the VR space, so obviously you liked spaces. What specifically did you like about it?
I guess what I liked the best was the textures and the models because they were actually like really well rendered, and I like how they were able to create the like the Terminator suit for like each player, and like attach the photo onto the face because that was really hilarious for one thing.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
entertaining.
yeah, it was really interesting because like, I remember Grant he changed his photo to like to have like an open like smiling mouth, and that was really that was really scary, but it was also hilarious. Like it came a lot more frightening than I thought it would be, but it was just for the laughs.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So any closing thoughts on spaces?
Yeah, I think actually something that you had said before, Carlo, I think that like the thing with spaces, like for the devs on the dev side, I feel like you had mentioned that like it feels like, well, what are the programmers doing? I feel like the programmers are probably have like death by a thousand cuts because there's a lot of small things that like would probably go unnoticed, but the programmers are having to do for that experience, right?
Right.
Like they're having to integrate all that hardware, make sure it's all working. They have to make sure all the positional tracking is done because it actually does track your position. Um, they have to make sure that there's like scoreboards and everything. But like the real question is, could they maybe have could their team maybe use an extra gameplay like programmer like to ensure that there's more to do in the experience, or is the problem really a price to time ratio problem where like is it they're putting you in but you're spending all your time in training and you're not actually doing the thing, so it feels like you just got a short experience. And to be fair, the training's not bad, but if I wanted to go shoot targets in VR, there are hundreds of experiences for that I can do at home. And maybe this is for the user who doesn't have VR at home, but I think that if that's the way they're positioning this, they're positioning it wrong because uh like the big thing that I find with like
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I dropped out of the call there for a second. Andrew, you were at the you're in the middle of your positioning, like your how they were positioning
yeah
themselves.
yeah oh
Sorry.
it's sorry, I'll just kind of repeat quickly what I was saying is like it's how they position themselves, and they're positioning themselves as a premium experience, but I feel like they're more of an arcade experience. I think that either more time in the experience or less training in the experience, like less time spent in the training, or maybe more time just in the experience overall. Like I don't necessarily think training mode's a bad thing, but I could do training mode in any VR headset. You can shoot things like, so when I go in there, I really want to take advantage of that positional stuff that they're doing, like on that stage with my friends, right?
Mhm.
Like you and I have seen the stage. There's like all that. They have the framework, and I'm sure that they're going to iterate, and that is good. But I think that like when I see that, and then I compare that to the Void, which is not a fair comparison to some degree, but like I think that they need to position themselves differently because in the Void um, or the Void positions itself more like a movie, in a weird way. It's a VR. It's like an amusement park attraction, whereas this kind of, I mean, it's something you can go do in the mall, and it's something you can go do on a weekend. It feels like an arcade shoot, or like, an arcade shooter. But I don't think that the amount of time you get actually doing the arcade part of the experience is long enough to feel like you're warranted in doing the thing. And I think in an arcade experience, what nets you score typically too. So like, going in what you're kind of trying to get out of the experience, which is a high score, and the kinds of things that could give you that. And I think that having Easter eggs, which there are Easter eggs in this experience, which I think might have been the most entertaining part of the whole experience for me, looking for those said Easter eggs and shooting them. Kind of resonate with you. Like, I think it was a good if I had the Void near me, I'd spend more, and someone who is a VR developer might appreciate that more too. They did heat the stage, I think. Did they? Am I wrong?
I felt like they cooled it.
Or cooled it? No, what I'm saying is they did they play with temperature at all?
Yes,
I know
I
that.
feel like they did.
Yeah, they did play with temperature. That's something that, like, to give them props. That's something that the Void does as well. I think it's really important for immersion to be able to climatize where the player is and do all kinds of like
Hey,
Okay.
stuff.
sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna.
Lily,
gonna-
no.
No.
Sorry, I have to go.
Okay. Bye, Lily.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
Lily.
see you guys
You'll be
later.
forever in
Bye,
our
Lily.
hearts.
Bye. Wait, what did you say, Kevin?
You'll be forever in our hearts.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
What did you think he said? You sounded so offended.
I couldn't understand what he said at all, so that's why I asked him to clarify.
Okay,
I'll see you
bye.
guys later. Bye.
Bye, Lily.
Take care.
But I mean, yeah, no, Andrew, I basically like agree with all of that. To be clear, we're not berating the developers. We're giving them feedback.
Fuck those developers.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
screw those
I'm
guys.
No,
No,
I'm actually very thankful that I got to try the experience.
Yeah,
As a developer, I can relate with development cycles. I think that they've actually put together something quite nice. I just think that maybe there is a price to overall experience ratio that I feel like going into this particular experience compared to the Void, you might be feeling like leaving this one, even if you've never done the Void. See, that's the thing. None of you had ever done the Void. I have.
Mhm.
I have something to compare against, and I think that one of the things is like when you compare, like, what is there's a saying that's something along the lines of like comparison is the what is it like, basically that goes along the lines of thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. Have you ever heard that phrase? But basically, it's like you compare two things that you like, and
Oh,
one of them is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
obviously look worse.
Mhm.
So, like, this was obviously a good experience, but the fact that you were able to go in and there was still noticeably something lacking, I think tells me that they still have a little work to do on that price to I don't want to say length ratio, but price to experience ratio. I just came out feeling like it's just. I also had the glasses problems. Like, it's hard because I have comparison, and I was totally from the get go at a disadvantage, right?
I
But,
mean,
like, yeah.
Well, I don't remember what I was gonna say, so keep going.
But like, I mean, I was totally at a disadvantage. But even so, there was still a bit of that experience. I think that you were lacking too. There was something that felt, and I think really what it was is that you get in on the scene and you only spend like 5 minutes there, and then but you spend literally more time setting up and in training than you do in the actual part of the experience that you were there for, shooting Terminators. And that's probably I think in a large way, probably what made people feel like made you feel that way, if anything. Um, because really, like I've done experiences that were like 3 minutes long and made me be like, again, it's just having that core loop. But I think that the Terminators were a little spongy, and I think that that's something they could do. I don't mind having to shoot more Terminators if they're a little bit easier to kill, or maybe have a little more feedback. They really need to feel like you're hitting them. They do feel like you hit them sometimes, but it's not quite often enough, I would say. Anyway, all right, that those are my thoughts regarding that.
Okay, I mean, so may I continue?
Yeah, sure.
Um, I feel like obviously we're not meant to, like, we're not berating them. They brought us there, and I feel like we're trying to give them feedback. Like I've been trying to get in contact with them about it, but like for me it still felt like it was still in development. Like there was still a lot of things that weren't, like you were saying, they weren't quite what we were expecting from something like that. And I feel like that we're very passionate about it just because there's a lot of potential in what they had going with them. Like you were saying, the spatial stuff is really interesting. There's a lot of stuff that can be done with that space, and I think you were mentioning when we were leaving that we feel like we could probably do a lot in that space as well, having full motor control and having like really an interesting multiplayer dynamic in VR like that. Like there's a lot they could do with just like only the platform, like, and they showed it off too with the simulating like the space dropship thing, or like like how you move between areas. There was a lot of stuff to that.
That was actually really good. That was a good solution, by the way.
Hmm.
I have to throw that out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely. I mean, they definitely solved some really simple problems in some really clever ways. Is with a fixed space, how do you move the player between scenes? I think they did that well. Like that actually, you could do ropes that drop and have the player grab onto those. They didn't do that there, but that would be an interesting thing to do.
That
for
would
another
be. See, no, that's what I'm talking about. We have all these ideas. We should just put us on the team. We got it. We can actually implement it because we know it's Unity.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be Unity. Unity is pretty much, right now at least, one of the big platforms in VR. That kind of, I kind of want to, if we can take a small
Yeah, go
note
for it. Go for it.
on something that's not related to this, but it is related to Unity.
Go for it.
Unity is going public supposedly in 2020.
Okay.
company.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
No.
now?
New. This. Well, hold on. This is a new. Let me write down the new topic so I don't forget when I'm writing
Yeah.
the VOD. Okay. Unity
Yeah.
going pub. Okay. Go. Discuss.
Well, I don't know. How do you all feel about, or do you have any feelings about, an engine company going public? That is becoming a publicly traded company on the
Could you
stock exchange.
could you explain exactly like the entirety what that entails? Because I have no idea. Well, I have an idea,
I'd
but
probably buy some stock.
I could tell you I can tell you some fraction of it. I can't tell you
Give me-
exactly what that will mean. For
give me
them.
like the appetizer. Don't give me the whole meal.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to become a publicly traded company, meaning that they are going to be traded on a publicly traded stock exchange. It also means that they're going to be more beholden to shareholders because they will have them.
Okay.
So, what I think
bring it
what
down a little
I-
bit, a little
A
more.
lot of game developers are going to be a little bit nervous about. I'll just point at why I think that's a thing. Like why that is why some developers.
Okay, wait,
are nervous
Andrew,
about this.
give me the explain like I'm five version of that.
So you can invest your money into a company that is publicly traded. You cannot do that into a privately traded one without actually talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and invest on the stock exchange if they're publicly traded. And if they're publicly traded, they are actually, to a degree, obligated to fulfill what's in their charter, and to continue making profit year over year. What this kind of tends to lead to with most companies is a cash out for the people who made or who are like actually owning the company. They make a lot of money really quickly, and it also ends up leading to companies looking a lot like Activision and EA do right now, which is they start gutting their products in favor of more profit because they want to look like they're making more profit year over year.
Mm.
And so I think a lot of people are nervous that this could signal that Unity may start kind of having those practices and basically try to nickel and dime the developers. So it's like, oh, if we can't make or like, so it's less about or so it'll almost be like, imagine the like almost a microtransaction model of the developer space. I mean, we already have the asset store, but like the asset store I think does add value. But the question is, can Unity keep at least some ethics and go public? And I don't know the answer. People are worried about that.
Kevin, if Unreal
Yes.
Engine, wait, is Unreal okay? Well, if
No.
Unreal Engine,
No, Epic is not a publicly traded company.
if it became publicly traded in the same sense that we're kind of discussing with Unity, what's your take on that?
Well, I usually like to see this before worrying about.
Okay,
anything.
wait. Start from the beginning because you kind of lagged at the beginning.
I said I usually like to just wait to see what happens before, because I mean, if they haven't announced any changes, I will patiently wait until they announce something, and then I'll complain.
Right, fair enough.
That's usually I feel like there's no point in worrying about something that hasn't been announced yet.
Well, I do
More-
think
more
that
people should reflect
communities have turned certain decisions in many spaces at this point by expressing frustration or outrage before they happen.
Well, I mean, no, you can do it before it happens. You just have to do it after it's announced, because there's no point in getting outraged over something that might not happen at all. You can say
That's
I would rather like this specific thing not happen, but you can't say like, oh, I can't believe they're going public because that'll lead to this thing.
Oh no, that's why I said I think people are nervous, but it's not like it will. There's no guarantee. I think I was kind of highlighting that, but like I agree that, but like hypothetically, if tomorrow there was an announcement that Epic were going public, would you have would you feel any bit nervous for the engine, or do you feel that Epic maybe has built themselves now a broad enough base of income sources, i.e. a store, Fortnite, etc., that they might not be inclined to ruin their engine for money?
Unity's not open source, right?
No,
Unreal's open source.
that's true.
So
They
I mean,
could-
even if they did that, I can literally just fork off like the latest version, and
Right.
then just keep using that.
That's true. So you could fork the latest version, but then you wouldn't be getting, any version updates from here on out. That is better than Unity. I'll give you that for sure.
Because I'm also sure at some point someone will come back with like a fork of Unreal Engine that's being updated, and that's free. Like I'm sure something will branch off of that.
That's true. I mean, do you think it'll have the? I don't want to say quality, but will it have the quality that you're going to get from Epic? Probably not, right? Unless maybe it's stewarded by another game studio.
Unity's like, hold up. What if we just use Unreal instead?
No, but
Well,
I do think.
thanks
Oh,
for
okay.
having
Well,
that discussion.
going away from just that part of open source, I do think because as far as I know, Unity doesn't actually make games, right?
No, they don't.
Epic
Well,
actually makes games.
they make-
So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, for a while there, Epic was. It was arguable whether Epic was planning on releasing anything. I guess no, they were working on Unreal. They just canned a lot of their projects. Like I know it was a community-driven open source project, Unreal Tournament 4.
Yeah.
But like that was cool. I honestly wish that they had not canned that. I know that they have Fortnite, but just to leave a couple devs on that would have been really cool. But like Epic's canned like what, four projects. In a way, you could almost canned Fortnite proper.
Oh, the original Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean they did release it, Save the World mode or whatever, but like by the time they released it, they had already stolen its thunder with Battle Royale. Like when you say Fortnite, do you even think of anything but the Battle Royale? Really?
I have a bunch of people who don't even know that there's another thing other than.
I will snarkingly point out that you are referring to the original building game when you say Fortnite. You have to say Fortnite Battle Royale.
Well, I mean,
Well, I said save the world mode specifically.
Well, no,
That's
no,
what
I know,
said.
what I'm saying. Yeah. But like,
Yeah.
if someone tells me, "Hey, have you played Fortnite?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I kind of like that game." No, I'm talking about the building game, not the Battle Royale. I fucking hate that battle mode.
eh,
Like, I mean, I honestly don't think that. I hate to say it, but I don't think that Fortnite would have ended up being the success that
no, it wouldn't. It would not have been
it
anywhere
is
close.
as Save the World mode. I don't have any, but that's not to say that I wouldn't have enjoyed Save the World mode. I think I would have enjoyed that. When like before Battle Royale was a thing, I think I would have enjoyed that.
How is Fortnite's player base now that Apex released?
That's a good question. I wonder if those numbers.
Because
are
I know it like crashed and burned on
Do
Twitch.
you
or
do
I
you
don't know about
remember
Twitch.
do you remember the meme I sent? I forget if I sent it with you, but basically the meme was like, Fortnite is the best game I've never played because it's basically grown-up kiddie
Yes.
daycare. Like all
Oh,
the
yeah,
kids
yeah,
just
I've
play
seen that one.
Fortnite while everyone else moves on to some other game or something.
Fortnite. Yeah, such a weird game.
Wait, were you able to find numbers on that?
No, I didn't actually look it up. I was just looking at the Twitch numbers. Twitch is actually starting to get more like for the top spot. It's actually starting to get more competitive. Because I know before PUBG released, it was just League of Legends. That was it.
I mean-
And then PUBG was like taking the top spot, like alternating. Fortnite came and started taking the top spot. Now Apex is coming, and then like a bunch of different things are shuffling around.
Yeah, so here we go. What does Fortnite's player count look like? Apex has 25 million. Fortnite had over 200 million registered players. So 25 million versus 200 million. Fortnite had 8 million concurrent players. 4 times Apex's 2 million mark. I mean, honestly, like, I'm not surprised that Fortnite has managed to keep its base. You have to remember that there are a lot. I know it's kind of a stereotype, but there are a lot of kids who are into the Fortnite scene.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the kids will eventually move to Apex too. That's the thing.
They'll move to something for sure.
I'm
It
pretty
might
sure
not
it
be
will be
Apex.
Apex because I think a lot of the reason Fortnite became popular with kids is because it's free, and it has a very colorful aesthetic. Same, I mean, and Apex does as well.
Yeah, actually, that's something I do want to highlight is if you've played Titanfall 2, which by the way, it's really disappointing that we're not getting Titanfall 3 as a result of
Wait,
it.
is it like canceled?
They're never. Yeah, I think that they canceled it early on and ended up Apex, from my understanding. Like we're probably not getting a Titanfall 3 unless they decide to do it. Maybe funded on the back of the fact that they have Apex, but they said that their full focus is Apex at this point, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Like I don't dislike Apex. It's a good game.
I've never played Titanfall 1 or 2, so I have no idea.
Honestly, like it's 5 or last I checked, Titanfall 2 on Origin is $5. And if you have Origin installed already, I honestly would drop the $5 to go play the game. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's even anyone playing the online mode now that Apex is out. I hope there are. I actually want to go play because, to be honest, I enjoy it more still than Apex. Apex just has people playing it, which is like because it's not a 2-year-old game that got messed up by an EA release cycle. I really think that they need Titans in Apex, and I think that it would be really cool to have Titans at the end game, like not necessarily the whole time, but it'd be very interesting for like the last like 3 teams to battle it out in Titans. It would make it feel like it wasn't just like in a lot of ways it iterates, but it feels like another battle royale in some ways too.
I think that would be fine if they had it as a separate mode. Because I would not want that in like I wouldn't want that to be the only mode.
But that's the thing, like I don't think that that's a problem to have that be the only mode. Like
Because no,
it makes it distinctly itself as opposed to being another battle royale with mostly the same meta. Like, aside from being a little more arcadey, I think that like, and don't get me wrong, I really like Apex, and it does do some actually great stuff. Pings, like pinging, being able to ping is huge. And actually, this was something you highlighted when we were talking. I think we never really got to this discussion when we were on here, but we were talking about this on Discord as well, which was that you were saying that the pinging gives too much information to the player. But I think that it's like in a squad based game, I think that having pinging in an FPS is huge because I can't name another FPS that does pinging.
Doesn't
Um,
Borderlands 2 do that?
can you ping things in Borderlands? I don't remember being able to.
Well, I mean, okay, no. The thing is, it makes communication easier.
Oh,
and
Portal
it's like,
2.
It does way too. It does so much, because it tells you items. It tells you enemy. Not only is it locational pinging, like 3-dimensional locational pinging, it also tells you what you're pinging.
But it simplifies it
Like,
though.
It takes. How do I phrase it?
So
It
you're
just-
saying it removes the communication aspect of being like, oh, he's at 270.
Yeah,
270
basically,
uphill.
I think that's basically my idea.
To be fair,
because like it does everything for you. You just press it. And I'm like, I guess.
But it
it's
helps. It helps
useful,
with
but, like,
people with
you
randoms
do
that
have to
aren't
have-
with
I
parties
guess. No, I mean it's
that don't use
useful,
voice chat that
but it
don't
also,
that
it
can't
also
speak
Takes away, like,
that don't
takes
have
away
a
big
microphone.
No. I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just saying like it takes away a big aspect of it too, though. Like I'm sure people
I think
like it. I just
would say it changes the aspects that you measure. Like, would I expect pinging to become the standard for every game? No, but do I think it actually fits in a lot of games and blows my mind that we've not seen it up until this point? Yeah, actually, to
I
be
mean,
honest,
Battlefield
yeah.
5 has pings, but it does it a little differently.
You know,
Like, there's a
I'm-
lot of shooters that have ping, or at least, okay, no, I'm not gonna say a lot, because the only ones I can think of are PUBG, Ring of Elysium, and Battlefield 5. But they have pings, but they work differently, and they still require some amount of communication with your squad, instead of just telling you everything.
Yeah, okay, so the couple things I have to agree with Carlo though on is that, like, and I know you're not really making the argument against this, but like, I do think that the pinging really fixes that problem of someone is not on the microphone, but you want to still communicate with them, or vice versa. And I know you would say, well, like, just use the mic, and I think that's great. But I've had the experience of
Well,
there
I
are
mean,
some people. There are some people I actually would just prefer never got on the mic, to be
I
honest
mean,
with you.
I never use mics if I'm not with my friends.
That's actually really funny. There's some people I prefer never got on mic.
No, really.
No, I know. I agree with you
Crunchy
too.
Dorito bag person, or like toxic to your teammates person,
Fucking
or
crunchy
like
Dorito bag person.
Ah, dude, that
I
asshole.
I hate getting on mics too. Like I understand that, but what I'm saying is that there's still a text chat. Like it's not like it's not that hard to type enemies right after you ping.
Yeah, but then you
on
can't
on
move.
a console. It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that much. On a
Like,
console.
I actually played this game first on a PS4, on my friend's PS4, because I was at his house, like, staying the night, because I was still visiting San Jose, and it when it launched, and
Yeah, sometimes I forget consoles
the
are there.
the day one experience on Apex was playable without a microphone, like, because I did not have access to their microphone. It was not only playable, but it was pleasant, and like, to me that speaks volumes to that kind of communication being valuable to the game. Like, and it's like, it's not to say that like, yes, it doesn't strip out certain elements, but I think that, like you said, it's already arcadey. I think that if anything that I think Apex brought to the table, it brought together, or brought like a useful form of in-game communication, because most other games, it kind of stinks, honestly. Like, even in its best, Overwatch's in-game communication is mostly mash the V key on PC, i.e. tell people that your ultimate is charging.
I mean, that's more of a gameplay aspect of Overwatch than the actual ping system.
Right. Well, I'm not saying it is a ping system. Overwatch doesn't have really a ping system. The most you can do is say, like, go to the point.
Because I mean, there's nothing to ping in Overwatch, really.
I mean, you have the voice command things, like my ultimate is charging, but that's about as close as you get.
I think another thing that's kind of annoying. I don't know if people actually like this or not, but the amount of voice lines in the game that just constantly go off.
I
Annoys
was
me.
reading an article about someone who's talking about that too. I don't know if I care personally, but like I could see where someone might.
No, because like I don't like every time the ring is closing, it's like we're in the zone. We're not in the zone. Let's get in the zone. Zone's too far. Like I'm like, yes, I can look at my map.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of nice to have an auditory cue. I do think that you're right though. It's kind of
No, because like the thing is, it's so on the nose. If it was just like there's already a thing that's
a
announcing the zone
siren
is
or
closed.
something. Yeah, it could just be a siren for all it
No,
matters.
there
right?
is a siren when the zone is closed, and that's the
Yeah,
thing.
it does have that.
Why
right?
does there also have to be a voice line?
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, and I think that those are the things. I would hope that the game is in flux enough still that they will realize some things are good and bad every time patch them, and they probably will.
Are they releasing any new heroes? I haven't actually
They
looked at the
intend
updates
to.
yet.
They
Okay.
intend to. I don't know if they've done it already. That's I think the one other big thing about Apex is that it is it's a hero shooter, which I don't know. Is there any other
Battle Royale?
battle royale
Battle-
with hero
No.
shooting?
Battle right? Not battle right. What is?
Battle Royale's not a shooter though. I mean, not. No, like you're talking about like Realm Royale or something.
Yeah, it was that one game that used to be like a Overwatch clone and then got a battle royale mode.
But that's not a shooter, is it?
I thought it was. Like I thought they turned it. No, it's the one Overwatch clone.
Paladins.
Paladins doesn't have a battle royale. I'm pretty sure.
There was no. I'm like 1,000% certain that there was an Overwatch clone that got a battle royale mode.
It might be Realm Royale, but I thought that was like a MOBA type thing.
Yeah, actually, wait. Yeah, check Realm Royale. That might be what I'm thinking of. Maybe it wasn't an Overwatch clone. I just remember there was another hero-based battle royale.
But yeah,
Oh, it is a
And-
shooter. Never mind. Oh, what are you gonna say, Andrew?
yeah. I just think that I think Apex has been interesting in that it's managed to it's managed to iterate on a lot of market trends. Basically, I hate to say this, but it's like it's exactly the game you'd expect to come out of EA, but not from the studio I expected it to come out of from EA. Like, let's take all the market trends and put them into one game. Hero shooter, basically COD, battle
Battle Royale.
royale. Yeah, like
Oh,
don't get me wrong. I actually really like the game. I'm not trying to bash on it. I just
Yeah.
it does like if you look at it on paper, they literally did just clobber all of the things that are market trends.
Yeah. One thing I'm a little sad about. Like, this has nothing to do with Apex, really. It's just because I played so much Apex. Now I just cannot go back to PUBG because I'm so bad at PUBG now.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So Apex spoiled you.
Yeah, no, it's like I got used to Apex's like gunplay and movement, and now like anytime I go play PUBG, the second I land, I get obliterated because I can't control the recoil, and I can't move properly because I'm used to like sliding around and stuff. So
It
that's
sounds
not
like
that's not really Apex's fault, but that's like
no,
I
it
just
sounds
find
like the
funny.
problem you're having is that Apex is a really like smooth and fun game, and you're butting up against the
It's
friction,
far.
the forced friction. That's one of the things I really don't really enjoy in games, especially is recoil, because I feel like
Well, that's a skill level to it.
it adds a skill level to it, but it's an artificial skill level. You're really just fighting against the gun most of the time, not the player that you're fighting against.
But the player you're
if-
fighting against
But
is
the
also
player
playing
fighting
against the
also has
recoil.
recoil.
This is
Yes,
true.
that's true, but actually that's not one to one in a game like PUBG. To be fair, it could be different weapons with different recoils.
Yeah,
But
then
it's still you still have to know the
But
recoil of
beyond that-
weapons.
But beyond that,
Mhm.
if there is no recoil, then that skill manifests in movement usually. And I much prefer movement to recoil.
There's a game that balances that perfectly, and it's called Counter-Strike. You can have
Oh
both.
no, dear God, no.
Counter-Strike movement isn't that good. Counter-Strike movement is just walk around.
Counter-Strike is literally the opposite of that. Counter-Strike is the perfect, like, I think I need to stand still and shoot people game. Like,
Then
because
what was your maximum rank? Because when you get to higher levels of rank,
I
and the
don't
only
waste
way
my
to
time
get good at
playing
skill
ranked.
is to be able to stutter step. If you can't stutter step, then you aren't moving and shooting. It's possible to move and shoot accurately in Counter-Strike.
right, I understand that there's a skill cap, but I do not enjoy the mechanics of Counter-Strike at all. Enough so that I quit Counter-Strike before I even played like 70 hours. Like, I mean, you know, it's not a game I enjoy. I had a friend who was playing competitive. I wasn't gonna with him. It was the same. It was the same. It's honestly the same with PUBG. I just don't enjoy that style of game very much. Like,
Okay, but then,
No, see, I don't think it's a flaw with the mechanic then. I just think it's something you just probably don't enjoy, which is fine.
well, I still think it's a problem with the mechanic, but to be
why is
fair,
that a
like,
problem? I don't understand how that's a problem with the mechanic. If everyone has to play under the same recoil, it's still.
I'm saying that the execution sucks.
And
Wait,
what
why?
about it? Yeah. What about it?
The execution sucks because it is almost always to the detriment of the actual gameplay. There's
How?
no reason there. If I'm having to stop playing most of the other mechanics of the game to play the recoil, that is not very fun.
I mean, you don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to stand still to shoot with recoil. Part of the skill is moving and controlling recoil at the same time. That's all what recoil control comes under.
I think the real argument is that if there's a mechanic that you don't like, and then so you're like, yeah, I can't play the other mechanics of the game. Meanwhile, the other side is like, well, but it is one of the mechanics that we enjoy fighting against and overcoming. So I think that's really
No, but what I'm
the
saying is, it's not like you have to stop playing the other stuff. The part of the skill is managing it.
No,
while
you
doing
do.
everything.
Like, if you don't enjoy the core mechanics of the game, if one mechanic is overriding most of the other core mechanics for the
Yeah, but
experience,
what I don't understand is why does it override it?
No. From
because
what Matt said.
recoil specifically is one of those mechanics that overrides most of the other mechanics. It's not like it does one mechanic in any game do that, but specifically recoil in most executions, specifically in the games you guys named. It's interesting that those are the two games that came up, because those are like two of the worst offenders in my opinion on that
Because
regard.
PUBG, you don't stand still and shoot for the most part. PUBG, you have to be dodging around and like peeking in and out of windows while you shoot.
Yeah,
Building-
actually, PUBG you can move more than I would say move more than.
And then
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
played that much CS:GO. From what I understand about CS:GO, is you can like while you're moving, you can like find points where you stop moving and shoot to maximize your accuracy.
Can I just get in? From what
Yeah.
Matt said, building on what Matt was saying, I completely agree with him. If you don't like recoil control, you will not like a game like Counter-Strike. If that's a mechanic you just don't like, you will not like Counter-Strike. It is a
No,
core
okay,
part of the game.
Yeah,
It does
I'm
get
not
integrated
disagreeing,
with
that's-
movement. It does get integrated with the movement at higher skill levels, like you said, with the skill ceiling. But if you don't like recoil control, you will just not like a game like Counter-Strike. PUBG, I think Kevin can talk more about this, but from my understanding is it has a similar thing where you do have to control recoil, where there is a pattern to the recoil. It is not random. I mean, there's partial
rough
random.
pattern.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
There's spread and recoil. They're different. Spread is randomized. Recoil is consistent. But it's understanding that consistency, getting that skill, that muscle memory down that helps add to the skill ceiling.
There-
If you don't like doing that, again, you will not like it.
Actually,
Can I
think
just interject real
Counter-Strike-
quick?
yeah.
I'd like to clarify there's no spread in PUBG. It's all recoil.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and actually, the spread in Counter Strike's actually a worse offender, in my opinion, than the recoil.
Yeah,
Like
spread's
large.
kind of annoying.
Because the spread literally does feel random most of the time. I know you can get.
Oh, it is random. It's literally random.
Wait,
Yeah,
but I
it's
think
ridiculous.
I think that's not fair to say to Counter Strike because almost all shooters have spread.
No, what I'm saying is when you combine that with the recoil and the fact that you more or less have to stand still to be able to be accurate, it really strips a lot of the fun out for me as a player. Like,
Andrew,
But the
Andrew,
thing about-
Andrew,
and the stutter stepping, and to be fair, like I think the stutter stepping is literally an emergent gameplay mechanic. I think that people have found a way around the gameplay. I don't think that was actually by the designer's choice.
Can I
Now,
can
it's
I
fine
can
if
I
it
just
is.
say Andrew, what's your favorite shooter?
Honestly, right now,
No,
Probably.
of all time.
I was gonna say it's gonna
all
be
right, all
like
right,
Doom or
you're trying to
something,
make
right?
yeah, you're gonna try and make maybe Doom or Halo.
And all I'm gonna say about that is you don't have to stand still in those games. In a game like Counter-Strike, you do. It's just different.
Yeah, so I think
No, I understand that, but if I'm gonna go if I want to play a game that's
Mm-hmm.
making me stand still or play tactical, I'm gonna play a game that actually utilizes like prone mechanics and like actually goes the mile. Like
you'd love Battlefield then.
Counter Strike is literally the perfect bastardization, excuse the language, of those mechanics to the point where it's just frustrating and has a lot of spread. Like
Counter-Strike, though, in my experience, has some of the tightest shooting controls in any game.
really, it's not how I feel about that game
Because
when I play.
because it's almost completely under your control. There's like other than the spread, but the spread for like if you have really good aim, spread is more or less negligible unless you're
And
like fairly long distance.
within effective range, like if you know
Yeah,
the
within an
range of your
effective
weapon
range,
too,
which
it's
is
negligible.
actually no, sorry. PUBG and Counter Strike are really up there for tightest shooting controls, I'd say. But because the only difference is PUBG you can ADS and there's no spread.
I think
But
I just
it has
think
like
I,
slightly
okay.
randomized.
I think the problem now is that we just have different philosophies on how you should handle shooting in games.
No, okay, yeah, no. So I can see that if Andrew doesn't like it, I'm fine with that. But he said it
Hmm.
detriments from the other mechanics, which I'm like, not really.
No, it does. It does detriment the other mechanics. But if you like that mechanic enough that you don't mind it, then it's not necessarily going to feel that way to you.
No, because it's only a detriment if you put so much effort into controlling it that you can't do anything else. Because you can do if you can control recoil well enough, you can do other things. You can use the other mechanics while you're shooting, I should say.
Okay, maybe I'm not going to say yes or no. There are people at incredibly high skill caps who will like actually do that. Yes, like specifically in a game like in like Counter Strike, you'll see that. Like Carlo was saying, people will stutter step. Now the question is really, is stutter stepping actually an intended mechanic? It obviously is a mechanic at this point, but like, is it an intended mechanic or is it a loophole so you can actually enjoy more of the actual gameplay mechanics?
I mean, does that matter?
Yeah, it does, because then my argument's absolutely valid. Like,
Because I mean, if
We were
if
never
you're
saying
having
it
to
wasn't
find ways
valid.
to sidestep a mechanic that sucks because it sucks,
But also that's specific only to Counter Strike.
right? But I'm saying if you could do that in other games, would players abuse it? And the answer is yeah, probably.
Well, that's just saying is any exploit abusable.
No,
That's
but I'm not saying I'm not saying one is it an exploit. I'm not going as far as to call it an exploit.
Well, okay, but then like any sidestepping of a mechanic that makes the game easier, people will obviously use. Like even if the mechanic is good or bad, that has no saying on whether the mechanic's good or bad.
I mean, okay, professionals will for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Professionals will all use every advantage that they can learn. The question is, like, does that negatively or like will people use it? Well, basically, is it game breaking? I guess is the question you're asking. Like, does it actually?
I mean, like the way I think of it is like stutter stepping is basically the equivalent of wave dashing in Smash Bros. Then, right? Some similar like that. Carlo, what would
Yeah,
you
I
say?
guess wave dashing was a. Is wave dashing? Wave dashing is it's a
Wave
discovered
dashing,
mechanic, so to speak,
yes.
right?
Wave dashing is a consequence of a glitch that happens when you air dodge into the stage where you build momentum and can move faster
Actually, wait,
and
no,
react out
then
of
that's
it.
closer to bunny hopping.
Yeah, that
That's
has
not
no.
really...
That's bunny hopping. That's no.
Yeah, that's bunny hopping. Bunny
'Cause-
hopping is a fun mechanic, though. I love bunny hopping.
It is, and I think a lot of games implement it now because it's a fun mechanic for sure. Like,
A lot of
I
wait,
just,
no,
I
wait,
just,
wait. What games implement bunny hopping? I can only think of Overwatch with Lucio. Otherwise, it's just more of a it happens to be there.
yeah, I think a more common one is rocket jumping that people actually implement. That's actually
No,
common.
okay, but so I still have a problem with rocket jumping because most of the time rocket jumping doesn't damage you. It should damage you. There has to be some drawback to it.
Well, I mean, where it started there. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It started there, and it should have stayed
What-
there. They shouldn't have made it so simple.
What recent game? Duh, Overwatch. Okay, never mind. Wait, what other game besides Overwatch has rocket jumping? Because Pharah kind of rocket jump. I know she has a jetpack, but like you can kind of use her propulsion against stuff. But like, what else
You
recently?
can.
A lot of
okay,
games have it, but
Apex, you can utilize some of the movements to sort of rocket jump, but it's not really rocket jumping. It's more like just abusing the physics engine.
Let's see, Halo had grenade jumping.
Battlefield, no, Battlefield doesn't have pushback.
That's no. I mean recently.
I'm trying
little
to
more
I'm trying
recently.
to think of what like the most. Actually, it's been kind of a slow like shooters wise. I don't think Doom had it. Doom 2016.
Shooters don't
did
have that much knockback in games. That's the difference. Like the only shooter that has a lot of knockback is Overwatch. But I think Apex there are a few ways you can exploit it. There's one other game I can't remember. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Are the bullets in Apex hit scan?
No,
Really?
they're projectiles.
Huh.
If they were hit scan, snipers would be
Kevin,
absolutely
are you
broken.
thinking of TF2? Probably not, right? Because that one's old.
Well, okay,
obviously.
no, I know TF2 has rocket jumping, but
That's
no.
kind of old, but it has it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
I think it's where it became a meme, or either that or Quake.
It was probably Quake. I'm pretty sure it's Quake.
It became codified as a mechanic.
Okay, PUBG has
in
explosive
Quake.
knockback, but if you try to rocket jump in PUBG, you're just gonna kill yourself.
You could technically rocket jump in the original Doom, but it was more like a bounce because you couldn't really jump. You could gain a lot of momentum and fly a long distance.
I mean, that's still I'd call
It
that
was
a rocket jump.
Yeah, it was technically maybe the first true instance of the rocket jump, but I think that the real like the originator was Quake.
Okay, I'm trying to. The game I'm thinking of isn't a shooter. I just can't remember what it is.
Like it's hard when asked to name something on the spot, and when I get off the call, it's like gonna be like 20 games in my head.
No, you've got all these other
Effectively has
games.
rocket jumping. It has like an equivalent to
Yeah,
rocket jumping.
technically yes.
Which thing are you thinking of? That's interesting.
Snake's C4.
Oh,
Snake
you're
and,
right.
And links all of the Link
Link
versions bombs.
bombs.
Yeah,
Link bombs. Yeah,
all of them.
yeah, that's great. Oh, you can kind of do that, but you don't take damage. You can use Samus's
Drop bomb.
drop bombs, which are kind of that, but
Not
they're
the-
less like the emergent
Yeah.
version where you take damage, and more like the implemented version where you don't. It's interesting because you have both versions of the way that Kevin was describing it in there. The one where you do and the one where you don't take damage in Smash. So
Oh, duh, Junkrat too. Junkrat in Overwatch.
Oh, yeah,
Junkrat.
Junkrat.
Duh.
Junkrat. There's something similar to Junkrat.
They patched it so he didn't take damage, right, or something like that.
He
Does
never
he?
took damage.
Oh, never
he
mind.
never, no, I don't think he did.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But I might be wrong. He might have. What other characters? Oh, there.
League.
there was-
Okay, League is not really rocket jumping. The League is like a built-in mechanic.
Oh, hold up. Heroes of the Storm also has Junkrat, and he can do the same thing.
Rocket jumping is an interesting mechanic to say the least, though.
It's a really cool. Was that intentional?
No, it was an
No.
emergent gameplay mechanic.
That was
from
dynamic?
Quake. Yep.
And then
Awesome.
TF2 was like, all right, here's just a weapon that you use for rocket jumping.
You know
The
what
rocket
I'm really
jumper.
sad they got rid of from old games?
What?
Do you know moonwalking from Modern Warfare 2?
What? I thought you were gonna say like the dance move. I'm like, what?
That sounds
no.
very familiar. Yeah.
The one where you like cancel a shot with your throwing knife?
Oh, Andrew's looking it up. I want to see this GIF.
Oh, let's see this. You want to see this?
Dude, okay, wait. You know what I miss throwing a tomahawk from spawn and getting a kill.
No. Wait, no. Was that called tilt shotting? I cannot remember the names of trick shots from Modern Warfare 2.
Can I not find an animated GIF? Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
It's GIF.
GIF.
It stands for graphical, so it's GIF.
It's not Giraffix image format, whatever.
I love how everyone's so opinionated. I wasn't really gonna have much of an opinion on this.
Wait, was it actually called moonwalking? I know
I like how also like usually in a call or like in a conversation you'll have at least one person that says GIF. But like we're all just united. Oh, yo,
Alright,
Andrew's got this
no,
video up.
no,
Wait, I want to see this video. Wait.
I don't think this.
Yeah,
No,
that's
this isn't it.
that
No,
doesn't
okay,
look
basically,
like-
you remember trick
I don't
shotting
think
from
that's
Modern
it.
Warfare 2, though, right?
kind of.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'm just sad that you can't like really do trick shots anymore.
Kevin, I hope this is not what you're referring to, because what Andrew is showing is
No, this
definitely
is not what I was referring to.
not.
Like, no, this is what you like. You could basically like do backwards walks like after a shot, like basically you can glitch out your animations. This just looks like a lag glitch.
Remember before Twitch when people made montages? Look at this. Look at this montage
still
from
make-
Intro,
people still make
dude.
montages.
I know, but look at this intro.
Which
This
one
is
has
the
a lot of-
most 2000s intro, 2010
Yeah,
intro
no,
ever.
look at this. You should hear the music on this. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Man, I grew up with that shit. Okay.
No, I love it.
No, see, I
love it.
so did we. Excuse you.
I know.
Oh wait, no, maybe it was
We
Modern
all
Warfare
grew up
3.
with that.
Okay, well, moonwalking aside, thank you all for listening to this Excel-sized episode. That's actually I don't have to edit for once.
Very nice.
We'll be back next week with another episode where we talk about. I mean, maybe go back to Battle Royales. I kind of had to cut that off because I just realized that one of the people who was supposed to talk about spaces left because I should have put that first, but then Andrew came
Rip.
on, so I'm like, oh, Battle Royale.
We can talk more about Recoil.
Yeah, we can do that. Or something. We'll figure it out next week. Okay, bye.
Alright,
See ya.
Bye.
I think I got a skadoodle